What you do in the next 365 days will change your life. It's easy to think that a single year is just another cycle, another set of 12 months passing by. But in reality, a year is a canvas, and every decision, every action, every habit you choose to embrace will paint the picture of your future. You have the power to make this year the turning point that sets you on the path to success, happiness, and fulfillment. Your daily habits are the building blocks of your life. What may seem like small, insignificant actions, waking up earlier, reading a chapter of a book, practicing a skill, or dedicating time to health and fitness, are the compounds that will determine your future. Each day you invest in yourself is a day closer to the life you desire. The question is, will you start now, or will you let the days slip by without purpose? Procrastination is one of the greatest thieves of progress. Waiting for the perfect time or the right opportunity only ensures that you fall behind. The perfect time never comes. You have to create it. Taking small, decisive steps every single day is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who watch others succeed. Remember, the year you spend preparing, learning, and acting is a year you will never get back. Setting realistic goals is crucial. Ambition alone is not enough. You need a clear roadmap. Break your vision into smaller, achievable milestones. Each milestone you reach builds confidence, momentum, and clarity. By the end of this year, the cumulative effect of your consistent effort will be remarkable. You will not recognize the person you were a year ago compared to the person you become. Learning and adaptation are equally important. Life is constantly changing, and success belongs to those who are willing to acquire knowledge, unlearn what holds them back, and adjust to new circumstances. Every failure, every setback is a lesson in disguise. By learning from it, you grow stronger, wiser, and better equipped to handle future challenges. Persistence is the secret ingredient. Challenges are inevitable, but quitting guarantees failure. The people who succeed are not those who never face obstacles. They are those who push through them with unwavering determination. A year from now, you will not be defined by the challenges you faced, but by how you responded to them. Each day of effort, each act of courage, brings you closer to the life you've been dreaming of. The next 365 days are a gift, and they are entirely in your hands. What you do with this year, how you spend your time, where you focus your energy, and which habits you choose to cultivate will create a ripple effect that changes everything. Decide today that this year will not pass you by. Take ownership of your life and let the next 365 days be the year that transforms you into the person you are capable of becoming. A single year is far more powerful than most people realize, because it is both long enough to create remarkable change and short enough to feel urgent. Many people look at 365 days and think of it as just another year to get through. But the truth is that how you spend this year will echo for decades in your life. In 365 days, you can completely transform your skills, your habits, your mindset, and even the relationships you have. A year is long enough to go from feeling stuck to feeling unstoppable, but it requires clarity and intentionality. Every decision you make, every action you take is like planting seeds. Some seeds are small, almost invisible, like deciding to read for just 15 minutes a day or waking up an hour earlier to work on your personal growth. These seeds seem insignificant at first, but over time, they grow into trees that provide shelter, opportunity, and fruit that can nourish your life for years to come. People often underestimate the compounding effect of consistent action, but if you commit to progress every day, even in tiny ways, you create momentum that carries forward, and before you know it, you are no longer the same person who started the year. The power of a single year lies not just in the big goals you set, but in the small choices you make daily, because those choices accumulate. Choosing to learn, choosing to act, choosing to improve, even when it feels inconvenient or uncomfortable, sets you apart from the crowd. A year is long enough to undo bad habits if you replace them with intentional ones, and it is long enough to build skills that make you valuable in ways you never imagined. But the key is understanding that time is neutral. A year will pass regardless of whether you are moving toward your goals or standing still, which is why the urgency of action is so critical. Too often, people wait for motivation to strike or for the right circumstances to appear, forgetting that the year doesn't pause for anyone. Every day that you spend indecisive or distracted is a day that moves you further away from the life you desire. The power of a single year also lies in the psychological effect of visible progress. When you take consistent steps over a long enough period, you can look back and see how far you've come. That reflection reinforces confidence, resilience, and a sense of possibility, which in turn fuels more action. A single year gives you the time to experiment, to test your limits, and to discover what works and what doesn't. You can adjust your strategy, learn from mistakes, and refine your approach without losing momentum. In the next 365 days, you have the opportunity to rewrite the story of your life if you are willing to commit to growth and take responsibility for every moment. The power of this year is not abstract, it is measurable. If you dedicate even a small amount of time each day to learning, practicing, and improving, by the end of the year, you will have invested hundreds of hours into your growth. Hundreds of hours of focused effort in a year can lead to skills, relationships, and experiences that multiply your opportunities beyond what you thought was possible. And yet, many people fail to harness this power because they underestimate the cumulative effect of time. They see the year as too long to make a change or too short to achieve anything meaningful, not realizing that the opposite is true. A year is both urgent and abundant. The next 365 days give you enough time to reset your habits, to learn new skills, to build relationships that matter, to improve your health, and to start projects that could change your life trajectory. But it demands focus, consistency, and discipline. If you waste the days without purpose, the year disappears, leaving you in the same place or even further behind than when you started. Understanding the power of a single year prepares you for the next step, which is daily habits, because it is not the year itself that creates transformation, but what you do within it. Every day is a building block of your future, and recognizing the potential of this year creates the mindset that allows you to act intentionally, to prioritize your time, and to embrace the discomfort necessary for growth. Once you see the year as a tool, a resource, and an opportunity, you begin to understand that success is not a matter of luck or timing. It is a matter of consistent, deliberate choices over time, and the next 365 days are your proving ground. Building on the understanding that a single year can change the trajectory of your life, the next critical step is to recognize the power of daily habits. A year is simply a collection of 365 days, and the difference between someone who transforms their life and someone who remains stagnant lies in how they use each of those days. Daily habits are the bridge between intention and results, between dreams and reality. It's not enough to wish for success, to hope that circumstances will suddenly align, or to wait for motivation to strike. What truly moves your life forward are the consistent actions you take, even when they feel small, repetitive, or inconvenient. Habits are like invisible architects of your future. They determine how you spend your time, how you respond to challenges, and how your mind and body adapt to the demands of growth. When you commit to positive daily habits, you are essentially making tiny deposits into the bank of your future. Each day that you choose to read, to practice a skill, to exercise, to plan, or to invest in relationships, you are strengthening the foundation upon which your success will be built. Conversely, neglecting these habits, giving in to distractions, or indulging in short-term comfort creates a hidden erosion of your potential, and by the end of the year, the consequences are clear. The compounding effect of habits cannot be overstated. A single day of effort may seem insignificant, but repeated over weeks and months, it produces exponential growth. Just as interest grows on an investment over time, your habits compound, turning consistent effort into measurable progress. This is why focusing on what you do daily is far more important than occasional bursts of motivation or energy. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are. If you wake up early each morning to work on your personal goals, you are teaching yourself discipline and resilience. If you dedicate time each day to learn something new, you are expanding your mind and creating opportunities that did not exist before. If you consistently prioritize your health, you are building the energy and stamina needed to tackle larger challenges. Daily habits also train your mindset. They teach you the power of commitment, the value of consistency, and the importance of patience. In a world where instant gratification is everywhere, developing habits that require persistence builds mental toughness and prepares you for the inevitable obstacles that will arise. Your daily actions create a feedback loop. Progress reinforces confidence, which encourages further effort, which leads to more progress. Habits do not just shape external results, they shape your identity. Over time, the person who shows up consistently every day becomes the kind of person who naturally succeeds. This is why understanding and choosing your habits is one of the most realistic ways to control the outcomes of your year. It is not about doing something dramatic once in a while. It is about doing small, deliberate actions that accumulate. The connection between habits and success is evident in every area of life, from physical health to career achievements to personal growth. A single year full of intentional habits is a year in which you are continuously investing in yourself, while a year without focus is a year that slips by without meaningful progress. This concept also emphasizes the importance of self-awareness. To create habits that serve you, you must first understand where your time and energy currently go and identify the small changes that will have the largest impact. Habits are not built overnight, but by committing to daily practice, tracking your progress, and adjusting when necessary, you steadily move toward the life you envision. Moreover, habits are contagious within your mindset. One positive habit often triggers others. Reading consistently improves knowledge, which inspires better decisions. Exercising regularly increases energy, which improves productivity. Maintaining discipline in one area strengthens willpower in others. This interconnectedness amplifies the benefits of daily action and makes the process of growth more sustainable and realistic. By focusing on your habits, you take control of the 365 days ahead, converting the potential of a year into tangible results. You move from being a passive observer of your life to being an active architect of your future, fully aware that every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the person you are becoming. Daily habits are the engine that powers the transformation you seek, and when you harness them intentionally, you are no longer at the mercy of chance, circumstances, or fleeting motivation. Instead, you are creating a future rooted in consistent, deliberate action, which is the most realistic and dependable path to long-term success, growth, and fulfillment, fully reinforcing the power of the single year and setting the stage for overcoming procrastination, achieving goals, and embracing persistence in the months to come. Building on the power of daily habits, one of the most critical barriers to transforming your life in the next 365 days is procrastination. While habits determine the structure of your days, procrastination is what erodes that structure and steals the progress you could be making. It is the silent thief that convinces you that tomorrow will be better, that the right moment will arrive, or that your efforts are not urgent. Every day you delay action is a day lost, and over weeks and months, these days accumulate into significant setbacks that can derail your goals entirely. Procrastination is rarely about laziness. It is often rooted in fear, uncertainty, or a lack of clarity about what steps to take next. Understanding this is crucial because it allows you to approach it realistically. To overcome procrastination, you first need to recognize its patterns in your life. Are you waiting for motivation to act? Are you avoiding tasks that feel uncomfortable or challenging? Are you overwhelmed by the size of your goals and unsure where to start? Identifying the underlying cause is the first step toward breaking free. Once you understand why you procrastinate, you can implement strategies that transform inaction into deliberate movement. one of the most effective methods is breaking larger goals into smaller, manageable tasks. When a goal feels too big, the mind naturally resists starting, but when you focus on one small step, the resistance diminishes and action becomes possible. For example, instead of telling yourself, "I need to write a book this year," start with, "I will write 300 words today." This tiny actionable step builds momentum, reinforces discipline, and slowly transforms procrastination into consistent progress. Another key factor in overcoming procrastination is creating an environment that reduces distractions and promotes focus. Time wasted scrolling on social media, binge watching shows, or engaging in unnecessary tasks chips away at the limited hours in your day, leaving you with less time to build the habits and skills that will shape your future. By deliberately structuring your environment and schedule, you protect your energy for high-impact activities that align with your goals. Accountability also plays a vital role. Sharing your objectives with someone who will check in on your progress, or even publicly committing to your goals, creates external pressure that makes procrastination less likely. When your actions are being observed or tracked, you are more inclined to follow through, and the momentum from small wins compounds into significant results. Mindset shifts are equally important. You must move from thinking, "I'll do it later," to embracing the philosophy that action today produces freedom tomorrow. Understanding that progress, not perfection, is the objective allows you to start without fear of making mistakes or failing. Starting imperfectly is infinitely better than waiting for ideal circumstances that may never arrive. The connection between habits and procrastination becomes evident here. Even strong habits can be undermined by procrastination if they are not intentional and reinforced daily. Conversely, the deliberate action of overcoming procrastination strengthens habits by embedding consistency, resilience, and focus into your routines. In essence, overcoming procrastination is about reclaiming the time and energy that would otherwise be lost. It is about taking responsibility for your choices and refusing to allow fear, distraction, or uncertainty to dictate your future. The reality is that the next 365 days are finite, and the actions you take or fail to take will determine whether this year becomes a turning point or just another cycle of unfulfilled potential. By committing to act daily, by breaking tasks into manageable steps, by structuring your environment, by seeking accountability, and by embracing progress over perfection, you gradually dismantle the patterns of procrastination that have held you back. This process is realistic because it does not rely on sudden bursts of motivation or extraordinary circumstances. It relies on consistent, deliberate effort and practical strategies that anyone can implement. Overcoming procrastination connects directly to goal setting because once you stop delaying action, you can begin to pursue meaningful, measurable objectives with clarity and focus. It also reinforces the habits you have been building because action becomes automatic, not optional. The person who conquers procrastination learns to harness their time intentionally, transforming each day into a productive step toward their dreams. And in doing so, they ensure that the power of the year and the compounding effect of daily habits work fully in their favor. The transformation that begins by overcoming procrastination is not dramatic overnight, but gradual, realistic, and unstoppable, creating a foundation upon which goal setting, learning, and persistence can be built in the months ahead. Building on the discipline of overcoming procrastination, the next step in transforming your life in the next 365 days is learning to set realistic goals. Procrastination often stems from feeling overwhelmed by goals that seem too big, too distant, or too vague, so setting achievable, clearly defined objectives is essential for maintaining momentum and sustaining motivation. Realistic goals are not about limiting your potential, they are about creating a practical roadmap that turns ambition into actionable steps. When you break down your vision into specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound objectives, you provide yourself with clarity, direction, and a sense of control over the year ahead. Each goal acts as a milestone, a checkpoint that allows you to monitor progress and make adjustments when necessary. This approach prevents the frustration that comes from chasing abstract ideas without seeing tangible results, which is one of the main reasons people give up on their aspirations. Setting realistic goals also aligns with the daily habits and anti-procrastination strategies you have been developing, because it allows you to prioritize your actions effectively. When you know exactly what you need to accomplish, you can allocate your energy and time to high-impact activities that push you forward rather than scattering your focus on tasks that produce little value. The key to realism in goal setting is balancing ambition with practicality. Goals should challenge you and push you out of your comfort zone, but they must also be achievable given your current resources, skills, and circumstances. Overly ambitious goals that are impossible to reach create disappointment, erode confidence, and can trigger procrastination, while overly simple goals fail to inspire growth and leave your potential untapped. By finding the middle ground, you set yourself up for consistent wins that build momentum and reinforce your belief in your capabilities. Another important aspect of setting realistic goals is creating a timeline that structures your year effectively. A 365-day period can feel overwhelming if you look at it as a whole, but dividing the year into quarters, months, and weeks makes your objectives manageable and helps you track progress. When you assign deadlines to each step, you turn abstract intentions into concrete actions, reducing the risk of delay or distraction. This structured approach also allows for reflection and course correction, which ensures that your efforts remain aligned with your evolving understanding of what works and what doesn't. Realistic goal setting is closely tied to adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and obstacles will arise that challenge your plans. Setting goals that are flexible while still measurable ensures that setbacks do not derail your progress. Instead, challenges become learning opportunities, and your plan evolves in response to experience, keeping you on track toward the overarching vision for your year. Clarity in goal setting also strengthens motivation. When you know exactly what you are working toward and why it matters, each daily action takes on purpose and significance. Motivation is no longer a fleeting feeling. It is reinforced by visible progress, which builds confidence and encourages perseverance. The process of breaking down goals into actionable steps mirrors the habits and anti-procrastination methods discussed previously. Small, consistent actions aligned with clear objectives compound over time, producing significant results. Realistic goals also encourage accountability. Sharing your objectives with mentors, peers, or accountability partners creates an external layer of responsibility that makes procrastination less likely and reinforces your commitment. By regularly reviewing progress and adjusting plans as necessary, you cultivate a mindset of discipline and resilience, which transforms challenges into stepping stones rather than obstacles. Importantly, setting realistic goals is not just about professional or financial achievements. It encompasses personal growth, health, relationships, and emotional well-being. A balanced set of objectives ensures that your year produces holistic transformation rather than progress in one area at the expense of others. By the end of 365 days, the accumulation of these carefully designed goals and the daily actions they inspire produces tangible, meaningful change. The process is realistic because it does not depend on luck, extraordinary talent, or perfect conditions. It depends on consistent effort, thoughtful planning, and practical decision making. Once you embrace realistic goal setting, you create a framework that integrates daily habits, overcomes procrastination, and provides measurable milestones that guide you towards success, growth, and fulfillment. This foundation prepares you for the next stage, which is continuous learning and adaptation. Because once goals are set realistically, the ability to acquire knowledge, refine strategies, and adjust to circumstances becomes the engine that accelerates progress, ensuring that your actions in the next 365 days produce results that truly transform your life.